Hello, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy. You have no homework tonight. But don't worry, I will get even with you next week. Yeah, buddy. If you guys would, please take out your notes and homework spiral. This is going to be lesson 2.5, distributive property. Please take out your classwork, homework spiral, and write down lesson 2.5, the distributive property. Please write down the expression 4 parentheses y plus 3. Please write down the expression 4 parentheses y plus 3. We've already worked on distributive property earlier this year, so this should be pretty easy for you. The game makers love to put distributive property on the EOC. So here we go. The 4 is touching the parentheses, so that means I am going to multiply. So I'm going to write 4, a dot for multiplication, and I'm going to write the variable y. Now I would tell you that there is an invisible 1 in front of that variable y. So when I multiply them together, I say that 4 times 1 gives me 4, and I say that the variable, the letter y, is like that dog that just follows you throughout the neighborhood. So I'm just going to take that y and I'm going to write it after the 4. I did 4 times 1 gives me 4, and the dog, or the y, follows me everywhere I go. See, that's your stray dog, or in that case, the y is a stray dog that follows you everywhere you go. But I am not done with the problem, because now I am going to distribute, nice vocabulary, da bears. I'm going to distribute the 4 with the 3. I'm going to distribute the 4 with the 3. So that means I am going to multiply 4 dot for multiplication with the 3. 4 times 3 gives me 12. You can think of it as trick-or-treating. The y gets a piece of candy, and the 3 gets a piece of candy. You have to give candy to both trick-or-treaters. Your trick-or-treaters are the letter y and 3. You have to multiply both of these by 4. Now, the last thing I'm going to realize is that I need a heart and a star. So let's go find some hearts and stars. I'm going to give the 4y a heart, and I'm going to give the 12 a star. Remember that you cannot put heart and stars together. You cannot put hearts and stars together. So my final answer to this problem will simply be 4y, and this is a positive 12. This is a positive 12 plus 12. That is my answer in simplest form. Why? I cannot combine these. One is a heart, the other is a star. One has a letter, one doesn't. Please keep in mind that these are equivalent. Nice vocab. Da bears. They are equivalent. They mean the same thing. Alrighty, guys. Last example for today's power-packed Phillips podcast. If you would write the expression n parentheses n minus 9 in your spiral. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the letter n is touching the parentheses. That means I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to do n dot for multiplication, n. I'm going to multiply n times n. Now you got to be very, very careful. When you have n times n, there is an invisible exponent of 1. So please make a note, there is an invisible exponent of 1. So I have an exponent of 1 here, and I have an exponent of 1 here. Your rule that you should write down is that when you are multiplying, you're really adding the exponents. You're really adding the exponents. So remember, I had an invisible 1 here and an invisible 1 here. Since I'm adding the exponents, I'm going to simply say 1 plus 1. Very good. You should be in algebra is 2. Oh wait, you already are. So n times n equals n squared. Now I'm going to skip down to this example. If you had c times c, there's an invisible exponent of 1. When you are multiplying, you are really, very good, boys and girls, adding the exponents. So 1 plus 1 is, ooh, you might get a good grade on your interim this Friday. Very good, too. C times c would give me c squared. Just like n times n gives me n squared. So n times n is going to give me n squared. And remember, all I did was I said invisible exponent of 1, invisible exponent of 1. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. Now remember, I'm not done with the problem, because now I need to distribute the n with the negative 9, So this is what we're going to do, and you should do it on your paper. You're going to do n times negative 9 times negative 9. But Mr. Phillips, that looks so hard. No, not really. There is an invisible 1 here in front of the n. So now I'm simply going to multiply 1 times negative 9. 1 times negative 9 gives me negative 9. 1 times negative 9 gives me negative 9. And if you're thinking, good job, that the dog, or the n, follows you everywhere you go. The letter n, the dog, follows you everywhere you go. Now I will simply take n squared and negative 9n, and I will write it up here. N squared negative 9n. Remember that 1 is a heart, and squared, 1 is a star. You cannot put these together. This is n squared, this is n, or really n to the first power. You cannot put these together. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.